Meatloaf does not have to be boring. You can give it a nice flair. This is going to be an awesome Southwestern style meatloaf paired with some amazing jalapeno mashed potatoes. So go ahead, stay tuned, because this one hits hard. All right, so meatloaf. This is going to be an upgraded meatloaf. It's going to be very delicious. It's going to be very awesome. And I'm very excited to share it with all of you because this meatloaf in particular is one that I had on my anniversary years ago. Very similar. And I have to credit the Rokerij restaurant out in Arizona because they killed it with this meatloaf. So I'm trying to create something similar. It's gonna be awesome. And thank you. I gotta thank every one of you. Honestly, thank you so much for the subscriptions. 300 means the most to me. Thank you. And without further ado, people, let's make this shit. Stay tuned. All right, and so we're gonna go ahead and start off with dicing an onion. So we're gonna go ahead and dice up a whole white onion, a large one for that matter, and then we're going to go ahead and mince it. So how we're gonna do that is we're just gonna dice it up and then give it a really nice mince, the best we can, as small as we can, by just rocking our knife back and forth through the diced onion. All right, then we're gonna take a jalapeno or 2 or 3, however many that you want. I use about 2 in this recipe for the mashed potatoes, and I'm gonna go ahead and slice it and then dice it. Give it a nice rough dice. It doesn't have to be uniform, doesn't have to be pretty, just something nice and diced. Setting those aside, we're gonna go ahead and start mixing things up. We're gonna work on our panade for our meatloaf, so that's half a cup of panko breadcrumbs right there, and then half a cup of milk. Give it a nice mix. I'm gonna set this aside, probably in the fridge for a little bit before I make the meatloaf. All right, so we want to move on to our mashed potatoes. So a pot of boiling hot water here. I'm gonna go ahead and drop in my Yukon Gold potatoes. So I want about 2 pounds. I don't like to peel mine. I like to leave it on, so I just scrub them real good in the sink with a sponge or whatever to clean them off. And of course with water too to rinse them. And then I'm going to go ahead and move on to my roasted garlic. I'm going to go ahead and put some bulb of garlic onto a tinfoil sheet, put avocado oil on it, have my oven at 350, and pop this into my oven. I'll have the full recipe for you below. All right, then we're gonna work on our glaze. So for our glaze, we're gonna start off with a hot pan that's been oiled, and I'm gonna go ahead and add in 2 to 3 tablespoons of honey. I'm using Manuka here. You can use whatever kind of honey you want. I just had Manuka around the house, so that's what I used. And then I went ahead and added some dark rum here. And so for the dark rum, it's whatever brand you want, doesn't really matter. I'm gonna go ahead and add that in. We have it medium high, so it starts boiling off that alcohol. And then I'm gonna add in a cup of tomato sauce. Add that in, give it a nice whisk, keep whisking it so it doesn't like start burning or anything, and you can start dropping the heat down just a little bit. But we're gonna add some ancho chili powder, and you're gonna see this a lot in this recipe. So about 2 to 3 tablespoons of ancho chili powder, add that in. And then we're gonna go ahead and add in about a tablespoon of some apple cider vinegar as well. And then we're gonna go ahead and drop in some salt and pepper to taste, and keep it at a medium heat, keep whisking it, and then we want it to start boiling and turning into a nice glaze. So once it starts boiling, then we'll turn it down to a simmer, and it'll take a little bit of time, but eventually you'll get a nice glaze out of it. On the side, I started working on heating up some charcoal here on my yakitori grill. I'm going to go ahead and roast a jalapeno on it. You can roast a jalapeno on your grill, you can do it on your stovetop, but we want to roast it, take it off, and then give it a nice dice. You can do 2 to 3 of these if you want. This is going to go into the meatloaf. Now remember those onions earlier? Okay, well we're going to go ahead and add some oil to a hot pan, and we're going to start caramelizing these onions. So about medium heat, and then about 6 to 8 cloves of minced garlic as well. And yeah, don't burn it, just keep it moving. And then we're just gonna keep that moving there, and we're gonna add some other ingredients to this too, some spices here. And then we're gonna add in some more ancho chili powder. I was out, but go with a tablespoon, so I only had half a teaspoon left. And then a tablespoon of smoked paprika. Give this a nice whisk, and just caramelize them and take them off, set aside for the meatloaf later on. All right, then in a bowl, we're gonna have 2 eggs that we just cracked, and we're gonna go ahead and add in a little bit of smoked paprika here. You can do about a tablespoon or a teaspoon if you want. And we're gonna whisk this up, and this is gonna go into our meatloaf as a binder later on. All right, now to make the meatloaf. So I've got 1.5 pounds of wagyu ground beef here. You can use whatever kind of ground beef you want, and do this in a bowl. Don't be like me doing this in this receptacle, this rectangular baking dish that we're going to be using. But we're going to add in our onions. Go ahead and drop those in, and then we're going to come through and we're going to add in the jalapeno that we roasted, and then we're going to use a can of green chilies that have been diced. Then drop in our panade. And finally start mixing this all up. I like to use my hands with meatloaf because meatloaf loves meat mitts, right? Anyways, add in some salt and pepper to taste. Give that a nice mix, and then we're gonna add in that awesome egg mixture that we made earlier. And I just used some chopsticks for it because I was tired of my hands getting dirty, but you can go back to the meat mitts if you wanna use the meat mitts. Once you're all done mixing this all up, it takes a little while with chopsticks, I found out. That was a really bad move on my end. You're going to go ahead and smooth out the top, pop this into the oven uncovered at 350 for 45 to 55 minutes before we start basting it. All right, so we separate our potatoes from the water. Then we're going to go ahead and drop in those diced jalapenos from earlier. I'm going to add in about 3 tablespoons of oil of your choice. I'm using avocado here. Then our roasted garlic, we're going to go ahead and squeeze that in. And then salt and pepper to taste. I just start with salt, and then I add a little bit of pepper later on. And I'm going to go ahead and mix this up with my hand mixer. And then also, here's the cool thing too. We're going to use some heavy whipping cream. Why? Because it adds so much richness to this. So it's up to you. If you like yours super, super fluffy, they're not going to be very fluffy with like half a cup of heavy whipping cream like I'm using here. But do as you please. Then we're going to go ahead and baste our meatloaf here. It's been 45 to 55 minutes. And we're just going to make a nice base at the top. Sorry for the image quality there, but you just want to smooth it out. Make sure that that glaze is all over the top, but save some of it because we're going to use it as a sauce in a little bit because it's plating time. Now, for plating, I have some broccolini here, and then I also am going to make a nice bed of our mashed potatoes, put some slices of the meatloaf on top, and then, like I said, save some of the glaze as a sauce. So finish it off with some sauce, make it look real pretty. I'm telling you, this one was so good. All right, and we're done. So I'm gonna go ahead and try this. We'll see how it comes out. So take a little bit of the meatloaf, some of the mashed potatoes. Here we go. Wow. That rum sauce on the meatloaf is insane. The smoked peppers, you can taste all of it. Gotta have another bite. This is insanely good. Juicy, not dry, really good meatloaf. The fact that I let it sit another day mattered more because all the fat went right back into the meatloaf. And yeah, it just tastes insanely good. So, yeah, I'm gonna eat this and I guess I'm out, guys. Cheers. Until next time.